Hey, good afternoon again, guys. Eric here with you. It is, we got about an hour and 26 minutes to go here left, or I'm sorry, an hour and 36 minutes left to go here on this Thursday, February the 15th. I wanted to give you an intraday update here. We are looking at a 1 hour chart. So unlike usual, we usually start with a daily, but in this case, we're going to look at the hourly to start here with. We had been talking about that we had this crossover here, and so we were looking for this high to be taken out, and that would give us a reason to kind of reconsider what's going on here. So far, we have not taken that high out, but we are getting very, very close. And I happen to notice that that this move here, this decline, the 618 retracement could be a level to watch as well. So that's a little bit above this this peak here. But I think that we may be actually bouncing into that 618, which would give us an incremental new high. But at the same time, this should act as a resistance level here at this 2742. We talked about that a little bit on the daily chart. The 2743 was how it was calculated there. But in either event, it also corresponds with the moving or the 50-day moving average, and I'll pull that up here for you so you can see it. But the moving average we are running into right now, and let's get a little bit closer here to see better. Actually, we can go even closer than that. Okay, so yeah, so we're looking at a daily chart here, 3 months. This is the same move I just had highlighted there on the other chart. So we have bounced off of this this 200-day moving average we bought there. We're up about 6.5% now on that move, and now we're running into this 50-day moving average, which has put us in that zone I talked about yesterday, that we wanted to start looking to sell in this area right through here, because I think that we're setting the stage for a decline lower. So that's still where I think that things are headed to. So like I say, we're in that zone now. If we can meaningfully clear this 50-day today and close above it, or even if we were to bounce really high, and I don't think that's going to happen at all, and hit this 2743 and sustain above it, that would be a little bit more constructive and from a bullish standpoint. But right now, the signs are pointing towards selling, so that's kind of what I want to do in this area right here that we're in. We're on that 50-day now, like I say, so I think you're getting a pretty fair price to thin out some longer term holdings. And like I say, back to the intraday kind of standpoint here, we'll look at the 5-minute chart. We're still in a buy mode, but we're starting to kind of exhaust. The volume has waned, of course, intraday as usual. But I'm starting to see just signs that this move, so like this morning we opened higher, we immediately sold off. And now we have rallied back, but we're starting to just kind of feel a little top heavy is what it seems like, honestly. I may be wrong on that, but that's kind of how it feels. Looking at this 1-minute chart, you see that we had this decline a little bit earlier. We came up here and we rolled over a little bit, and we have since recovered and actually set a new high. So that's an encouraging sign. But like I say, it seems like we're starting to get a little bit towards the top here, and it looks like we're wanting to pull back a little bit. On the day, I mean, we're having a nice day here on the S&P, and actually I'll show you just real quick here. We're up almost 1%, so I mean, that's not a bad move coming out of the index. So I think that this one is, like I say, it is going to trend higher into the close, but I think that that's kind of a cue. This 15-minute chart, and I'll show you down here, this is some good volume on the buy side, and we've had a lot of upticks here, pretty much a lot of green candles on the day here. So like I say, it's pushing us higher, but we're going to get into that point now from the daily chart where we got to be respecting the resistance that lies ahead. And so like I say, that is right here upon us right now. So 2721 is that moving average. And that is exactly where we are at right now, 2722. So we're higher by, let's see, 38 cents there. So like I say, I think you can go ahead and start selling into this. I do expect us to kind of pull back at this point, and like I say, it might be we get one more update tomorrow. It's Friday, so that's possible. And then next week we set the stage to decline, but we'll just have to kind of take it as we go and see what happens there. Today's close and tomorrow will obviously be very indicative of what we can expect next week. So just from the market standpoint, broadly speaking, I think that you're getting your chance here to sell into it. So that's what I'd be doing. Looking at some of the other things we've talked about, GE real quick, it's kind of bouncing around there. We actually looked to buy the other day, and we did. I bought some in-the-money calls. That way I kind of could play it as if I own the stock, and I bought them further out on the calendar. So I've got quite a bit of time with those. Right now, those are up fractionally, 0.4, not 0.5%. So it's a very, very modest gain, but at least it is on the green. The other one that I talked about was Pandora. I did jump ship there. Like I say, it got this intraday surge, and I'll pull that up for you so we can see it. shares jumped, and I told you I think that it was getting a little bit bid up there, so I went ahead and jumped ship, and I thought we'd get a pullback to the 5 or maybe a little bit underneath it, so I think we still see that. It may be above 505 or somewhere in that area, but I do think that we want to get back in this name. We just want to find some weakness to do it on. So I went ahead and sold those calls for 100, and I think 104% is what I ended up getting out of them. So in the time it took me to make that video for you guys, I lost 25%, so you're welcome. Anyway, so the other one I talked about was Snapchat. I do have some calls in that one. We bought them out for March, and it's actually started working in our favor a little bit quicker than I anticipated. We actually had played this one both ways now, so the other day I bought some puts on it, and I bought them because this day here it spiked 40% on an earnings beat, and I just kind of thought that was unjustified, so I bought puts, the 20 strike, and those actually worked out, and so I exited those the other day, and now I have actually turned around because the tape suggested higher prices were ahead, and I bought the $20 calls for March expiration, and those are up right now. Let's see here, 51%, so I might look to exit those just because, like I say, it's happening a little bit quicker than I anticipated. If I'd have known it's going to be this quick, I would have bought shorter dated calls. But I do think we end up touching this high at least, and we perhaps can break through it. And I think down the road we might, even though I don't necessarily think it's justified or warranted, but I think that's what actually might end up happening with Snapchat. I guess it's taking over the world with all these younger users and stuff, and Facebook's becoming irrelevant in that regard. I still like Facebook, of course, and I still own it. The other one that we were looking at was, Procter & Gamble. Now, PG is up today. I actually went in there and I told you I bought the calls for that one. Let's see, I bought the April 20th 80 strike calls. Ended up paying $2.95 or $2.94 for those. So just overnight, those are up 18.5% on this nice move today. You know, that's one of those that I'll probably let this one ride, and if something suggests selling and stuff to lock in the gain, then I might go ahead and do that. But right now, that one's just going to go ahead and ride higher. The fossil short we looked at, and we did. Let's see if I can get it pulled up here for you. It has worked in our favor. I bought the calls, and I said earlier today, this morning when I posted a video, that it seemed like, and actually as I was posting that video, just shortly thereafter, and I was trying to get my trade ticket going, it started pushing higher, so I let them hang on there for a minute, and expecting it to pull back. It has done that, so I'm still owning those puts, but I am looking to exit those today because they expire tomorrow and they're in the money, meaning I don't want to get assigned shares of fossil, so and I don't have any shares to sell, so that's it's kind of one of those things. I want to go ahead and close out this position today and get it over with. You know, like right now we are seeing a little bit of an uptick. I don't think it's anything to worry about. We are looking at a 1 minute chart here, so intraday. But like I say, we still are seeing a series of lower highs, and I've got this trend line in place just to kind of check that, so we can go all the way up here to 1580 before we break that trend. But I think that if we do, we'll still push back lower, because like I say, this thing's way overvalued and not worth 16 bucks a share. I'm just having to exit the position because they expire tomorrow. I still have a put spread. I bought the 15s and sold the 10s for March expiration, so I'm still going to be owning those, so I still am short this name. So I think you can still be short it too. So the other thing I wanted to look at, Westport real quick. We did buy it the other day. We paid $2.94 for it. We're up to $3.18 right now. I bought the calls, and those calls were in the money. So those are up about 3% right now. But there's a pretty wide bid to ask spread, so probably really closer to about an 8 or 10% move to the upside right now for those calls in Westport, the $2 calls for July expiration. The other one that I'd like to mention just real quick here is the volatility index. We'll take a look at that just real fast here. It has popped a little bit higher today after opening lower from yesterday. So you see that yesterday we really just kind of collapsed there, and we were down 20 some odd percent, 23 I think it was. Today we opened lower. We have popped up a little bit today, but we're still to the under that 20 handle, so that's encouraging. But if you look at it here a little bit intraday, it's kind of flatlined down here. So the fact that we're not dropping any further at this point makes me feel like we might be about to see a spike. So I will probably be looking to buy some VIX calls, maybe just kind of to hedge out against that. But I still have a put spread for, some puts on VXX. And it's a 39 strike price, which I feel like they're going to expire worthless. I might try to just go ahead and sell them to get what I can out of them. But right now we're at 42 bucks basically, and so 39 by tomorrow. I don't know if that's going to happen or not. especially if the markets start acting a little bit weak here as we run into that resistance that we were talking about at the 618. So, guys, I hope y'all are making a little bit of money out there. I'm trying to give y'all some good ideas, and I feel like there's plenty of opportunities here to capitalize on. Like I say, we're flipping things left and right, so I think that if you jump in here and want to do it with me, then you're going to make some money. We don't win everything and we don't win all of them, but we win more than we lose, and that's what makes us profitable. So y'all just kind of keep following and keep hanging in there and stuff, and we'll see where we go with this. All right, guys, take it easy. I'll see y'all in a couple hours.